Egyptian civilization background. The northeast side of the African continent. That country is Egypt. From 5000 BC to 3200 BC. One state emerged on the banks of the Nile River is called Egyptian civilization. From this time onwards, Egypt began to influence the ancient civilization through many contributions. For example, periods from 3200 BC, the early dynastic period became which marked the beginning of the historical eras of Egypt. In this period, Narmer Menes, known by both names, united the Lower and Upper Egypt and became the first ruler and a priest of Egypt. He received the honor of being the first pharaoh. Hence, Egypt, under the rules of the pharaohs, began to flourish and leave its mark in the world civilization. With important contributions. Geographical location. From a geographical point of view, Egypt was situated in very important location, with three continents surrounding it. The country was situated on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, surrounded by Asia, Africa and Europe. In the north of Egypt is the Mediterranean Sea. In the east of Red Sea. In the west the Sahara Desert and Sudan and other African countries in the south. It has total area nearly 4 lakh square miles. Times frame. The Egyptian civilization continued for more than 2050 years. The long and sustaining history of Egypt began in 5000 BC, particularly in the Neolithic age. However, Egypt was founded under the leadership of Menes and maintained its glory and zenith for 3000 years. In the 10th century BC, barbarous nation of Libya took over the throne from pharaohs. In 662 BC, the Assyrians spread their dominance over Egypt. But in 525 BC, Phoenicians took over Egypt and the glorious sun of the ancient Egyptian civilization finally came to set. State and society. In the pre-dynastic period, Egypt was divided into small administration regions. They were called nomes. The first ruler or the first pharaoh, Menes or Norma, in 3200 BC, united the entire Egypt in one state and made Memphis, located in South Egypt, the capital. From then on, Egypt became a unified state and a dynastic rule emerged. The title pharaoh originated from the Egyptian term pharaoh. The pharaohs were very powerful. They believed that they were the descendants of the sun god. The title pharaoh was hereditary. Only son of the pharaoh could inherit the title pharaoh. The Egyptians could be divided into particular classes based on their professions, such as royal family, priests, elites, scribes, traders, artists, the farmers and the slaves to the lands. The economy of Egypt was basically agricultural base. The staple agricultural products were wheat, barley, cotton, onion, fish, etc. In trade and commerce they were equally advanced. The cultivated wheat, sheets of linen, earthen pots, etc. from Egypt were exported to Great Iceland, Phoenicia, Palestine, Syria, and other neighbors countries. The Egyptians imported gold, silver, elephant tusks, wood from their neighboring countries. The river. The river Nile originated from Victoria Lake of Africa. From there, the river ran throughout different countries and finally through Egypt it fell into the Mediterranean seas. The father of history, Herodotus, Apet said, Egypt is the gift of the Nile. Without the Nile River, Egypt would have been nothing but a desert. In ancient times, the Nile River flooded every year. After the flood, the land on both sides of the banks would be fertile with the black silt, and Egyptians would cultivate many crops the silt left behind by the flood water. Contributions of the Egyptians to civilization. There is no way to dispute the contribution made by Egyptians to ancient civilization. Their religious beliefs, art, sculpture, script, writing, invention of paper, the study of science and knowledge, everything has been enriched by their tremendous contributions. A very unique characteristic of the Egyptians was that every sphere of their lives was influenced by their religious thoughts and beliefs. Religious beliefs of the Egyptians. Probably, there is no nation among the ancient civilization that was more involved and influenced by the religious rituals than the Egyptians. Because of this, many of the philosophical ideas, rules and regulations, rites and rituals of human civilization came from the Egyptians. They worshipped inanimate objects, idols, and also animals, though there have been many saints in their religious views. They had a firm belief that the sun god Re of Amun-Re and the god of Nessa, grain, and the river Nile Osiris together ruled over the entire world. However, the most important god to the Egyptians was the sun god Re. Individual work, draw a chart of the exported cash crops and imported trade products of Egypt. The Egyptians believed that the dead will come back to life again. Therefore, they used to keep dead bodies fresh, making mummies of the dead bodies and created pyramids to protect the mummies. The pharaohs ruled the nations as the representatives of God on earth. They were the chief priests and they appointed other priests in different service. Industry, the painting and the art the Egyptians are very diverse and historical important. Similar to other